Oh, I hate that. Oh, no. Oh, that's awful. I'm sorry. Hey, everyone. Welcome into another episode of Atoasttotheatypical. I'm Brit.
And I'm Dale.
And today we have another cool one for you guys. Going to be very Dale heavy again. Seems to be the trend lately, but he'll get over it.
Surprise.
Just kind of the way things have just been going recently. It seems to be that you have more time to work on things than I've had, but that should be evening out. Next episode, I'm going to be really spearheading, but
yeah.
So yeah, I have no idea about anything other than where the event that you're going to be talking about took place. But yeah, other than that, I know nothing. So that's going to be interesting to talk about.
It will be. It'll be a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
This one's kind of neat.
I'm interested to see what you have to say.
Yeah, this one's kind of neat. There's a lot of info in this one, but it's kind of a neat, I think it's a really neat topic.
Yeah.
Obviously, or I wouldn't be doing an episode on it. But,
obviously.
It's a neat topic, and there's a lot of theories that are hovering around this one.
Okay, cool. But before we jump into that, we'll talk about some new followers.
Yes.
So you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So nothing specific as far as followers go. We have some new podcasts following us, which is awesome. But one of the cool goal is we broke 100 followers so far on Instagram, which is awesome. Yeah, so that's exciting for us.
It doesn't sound like much, but it's cool.
Yeah,
like I didn't think we were gonna have like 4 followers, including like ourselves. So it's cool.
It is neat.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Keep sharing, keep tagging, tag us, tag the post, share it with your friends, tag them. Yeah, if you have any other ideas, things you want to hear, things that you think are interesting, let us know. We'd love to bring you guys what you want to hear. So
yeah, our last episode that we did, the origin of nursery rhymes, was a suggestion from one of you as well.
Yes.
So
thank you for that.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Keep them coming.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was neat.
It was cool.
That was fun to talk about.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
Very odd, but hey.
Whatever.
Yep. And we're also in the process of getting a neat little like thank you gift for you guys. So we're going to be putting some stuff together in the very, very near future. So if you like comment, write into us, send us suggestions, more than likely one of us will reach out to you either.
Or the big thing is support our page. You can buy us a drink. Which I mentioned on the last episode is you can go into our link in our Spotify or wherever you're watching this, and you can support us by buying us a drink. And that could be, I think it's like a 99-cent
donation or whatever.
Yeah, like a donation, but like a contribution
or whatever.
There's 3 different tiers in it, I think. I don't know. I don't set them. They're just there. But you could buy us a drink, and then we will send you a gift. And it's looking right now that the gift is going to be a coaster with our logo.
Yeah, custom coasters. Cool. Like the ones that you can get in like a bar kind of thing. So we thought that was really fitting for our theme and what we do. So that's probably going to be what gets sent out to you guys. So if you're interested in that,
we'll send you leftovers from our snacks too. Send you some chicken nuggets.
We don't have any snacks tonight. We just got back from
gorging ourselves.
Yeah. So my birthday and my brother's birthday are 2 days apart, and every year for our birthdays we pick a place and go out to dinner with me and Dale and our kids and my parents and my brother and all that. So this year we decided to switch things up a little and go to a Mexican restaurant, and we absolutely loved it. It was delicious. Something for everybody. Food was fantastic. Service was amazing. Tony was so cool. Loved him, and he was just everybody was so friendly and so nice in there. And we've got two little rascals who don't like to sit still or be quiet, and we never felt like embarrassed or.
Speak for yourself.
I wasn't embarrassed. I thought they were fine, and like we've definitely been to places where like it's quiet and they are obvious.
Yeah.
So tonight was not like that at all. So we really enjoyed ourselves. We stayed way longer than we typically do at any other restaurant. Really just we felt very comfortable, and the place was delicious. The food was amazing. We've got leftovers. I think every single one of us, with the exception of you, brought home something.
Mm-hmm.
We had desserts. We had drinks. I had a margarita flight. That was cool.
Yeah.
You can get like a set of 4. You can choose 4 of their like 6 or 7 flavors and get a flight of all of those.
That I tried were good.
Yeah, they were really good. They have multiple, like they have more than just those 6 or 7 margarita flavors, but the options that you can get in the flight are just those couple. So I got one of those. It was really, really good. But yeah, we moral of that is that we ate
way too much.
So no snacks tonight. I can't even think about eating.
And acids and
yeah, right. Like Tums and a piece of gum, probably. Like I am full. And if you're watching the episode, do not make fun of me because I don't really care.
Do it.
But I have the coziest new blanket that has sleeves. It's not a Snuggie. Don't fucking call it a Snuggie. But it's like Sherpa lined. It's cozy. And this was my birthday gift from my brother. Dale just put together like a book nook area for me. And I had been wanting a blanket that I could still use while I'm reading a book. And I've found that like a regular blanket just doesn't sit on my arms the way I want it to. He's very annoyed. I don't really care. And I just discovered it has a little
kangaroo pouch.
So shout out to last episode of the cryptids. Because Mama Kangaroo is a happy lady right now. Yeah. And it's cozy. So, and it's always, always, always cold where we record this. So
no, it's not.
It's always freezing. You're always cold. This is nice. This is the first time I'm using it. I'm going to put it in my little reading nook. So it probably will not end up over here again, but
you're always cold.
For now.
It's also 30 degrees out, and I didn't wear a jacket.
It's the middle of December.
Yeah, so I like the chili.
You're a different breed.
As our son says, Daddy likes the chili.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
That's cute. We want to talk about our drink?
Yeah, our drink is a toast to this episode as well. We finally have one on theme again. It's been a little while since we've had one on theme, I feel like.
Well, it's been hard because we like didn't have the ingredients, and it was like hard to schedule around like when we were shooting and getting things and all that. So
yeah.
Now we actually have everything and it fits.
So this is called a Siberian Express Martini. It's vanilla vodka, raspberry liqueur, and dark creme de cacao liquor. We didn't have vanilla vodka, but we had vodka and vanilla extract. So I used that instead, which is why this turned out a little more brown than like a ruby color.
It's supposed to be like ruby?
Yeah, I think based off. Well, okay. No, I don't know. I don't know.
What color is the
creme de cacao? Yeah. I mean, I guess it would be brown anyway because it was the dark one. So
yeah.
But yeah, so
it's going to be like a dark chocolate raspberry.
Yeah, you're supposed to rim it with chocolate as well, but
gotcha.
I couldn't look at any other ounce of food.
This just seemed like it'll be a good like after dinner drink.
That's what I was going for. A nice. I was gonna go for like a Black Russian or a White Russian or something, but apparently we don't have coffee liqueur in the house, which is an unfortunate thing. So
sorry to hear that.
Let's toast to, and I'm not usually a martini fan either, so we're gonna see how this goes.
Yeah, me neither. There's no mixer in this either, right? It's just like
vodka and liqueur,
just all alcohol.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it'll probably be a one and done type deal.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because I don't feel like
that's okay, because I'm still margarita heavy over here, so we're good.
Well, I guess so. This is our episode is going to take place in Siberia, which is why we're going to travel over that way by sipping on our Siberian Express. So,
okay.
Let's see. It smells good.
It does.
It's going to be.
I'm so nervous. It's going to be horrible. Oh, I hate that. Oh, no. Oh, that's awful. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and I apologize. Apparently, this cough isn't gone. I don't think it's terrible.
I do. Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it would have been better with the actual vanilla vodka.
Mm-mm.
So you won't be drinking this.
Probably not. No, that's... Oh, God. I also don't like dark chocolate. So, like, it's very... I don't know.
It's okay. It'll take me all episode to get through that one, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm going to try it again.
Tastes a little cough syrupy.
Yeah, it's got a very, like... It just tastes like alcohol. Like, it tastes like antiseptic.
I feel like it needs more of like the chocolate flavor. I'm getting a little bit of the raspberry.
I taste a bit of the raspberry. I definitely smell the chocolate.
Smell the chocolate. I don't taste it. Maybe it would have been
smell
better
the raspberry.
with the chocolate rim. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think that would save it. I don't think it's salvageable.
It's a drain drink.
I don't.
Just dump it right down.
Yeah, right. It's like fucking Drano.
Shake, and drain it down.
It literally seems like it would unclog like the hair from your shower drain.
It looks like hair. It looks like shower drain water.
Oh.
I mean, it's. I don't know. We'll see. It looks It looks like
Coke. I'm not gonna drink that.
It looks like.
I'll try.
Coca-Cola.
I will do my best, but woof.
Yeah, it's a different one.
That's okay. I don't think I need any more alcohol. I probably could use a detox after last night and today. So
we had game night last night.
Oh God, I was tired.
Yeah, I'm tired right now. Pretty exhausted. But we're on episode 13, which is pretty cool.
Yay!
We were told last night at game night that episode 13 should have been a very significant episode because of number 13. But
yeah. But is it actually like content episode 13 or like including the intro?
I think it's including the intro.
Okay, so then I don't think that really counts. The next one would be our episode 13.
I'd have to look back. I feel like I'm not sure. I
don't know.
All right. So, this episode, we're going over this crazy event in Siberia, which is where's Siberia? I know you're a geographical genius.
Russia.
Yes. Just making sure.
I said I knew where this took place, okay? And I meant it.
Okay.
So shush.
So it's called the Tunguska.
Also, you said that you were going to make a white Russian or black Russian. So that's even true. If I didn't already know, you dropped that hint.
Yeah, that's true.
But I knew anyway, so shove it.
So this is called the Tunguska Event.
It doesn't sound like a Russian.
It doesn't.
Name.
And I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it correctly.
Probably not.
I probably will pronounce 0 of the names in this correctly.
Lovely.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. So where is Tunguska? It's not a city. It is a river basin. So it's the something Tunguska River. The name was extremely long. And I felt like we really didn't need to know that. Because it's called the Tunguska Event, not the whatever the fuck the actual name of the river is event. So we're going with Tunguska. Okay? Awesome.
Totally valid.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, God.
It's in Siberia, we mentioned.
Cool.
So this event occurred sometime between 7:13 a.m. and 7:33 a.m. on June 30th, 1908.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Just painfully specific.
Right. Well, I'm saying that for a reason because it is
it's
a specific event that occurred. So what exactly happened? On the morning of June 30th, 1908, Russian settlers and the Evenki natives in the hills that were northwest of the local lake saw the sky light up with this bluish light. And it was described to be nearly as bright as the sun. Interesting.
It's a hell of a claim.
Right. The light moved across the sky and left a thin trail. Close to the horizon, as it was coming in, close to the horizon, there was a bright flash that produced what they called a billowing cloud after this flash. Okay. Then the cloud was followed by a pillar of fire that cast a red light across the entire landscape. The pillar then split in two and faded away, turning to black. Strange, right?
Yeah, continue.
Okay. About 10 minutes later, there was a sound similar to artillery fire. Eyewitnesses close to the explosion reported that the source of the sound seemed to move from the east to the north. So this sound was a loud, thundering banging continuously going from east to the north. With those sounds came a shockwave that was strong enough that knocked people off of their feet and broke windows hundreds of miles away.
What?
Right. This is only the beginning. This shit gets weird.
Yeah. Okay.
The explosion has had so much force that it registered at seismic stations across Europe and Asia. And it estimated in some places that the shock was equivalent to an earthquake registering 5 on the Richter scale.
Jesus.
With all of this, warm air waves from the blast were detected in Germany, Denmark, Croatia, and the UK, and as far away as the Dutch East Indies and Washington, D.C.
No way.
That's what they're stating.
What the hell is...
Over the next few nights, the skies of Europe and Asia were so bright that it was said you could read a newspaper at night. So this was due to debris floating in the air from this blast. And the debris was catching...
For days, though?
The debris was catching the sunlight, as the moon does, supposedly.
No, I know, but go ahead.
And it was lighting up it was lighting up the sky. So the blast itself was visible more than 500 miles away. The event flattened about 500,000 acres of pine forest in the middle of Siberia.
Just
fucking flattened
leveled the place.
And here's a photo of that. Here's a couple photos of that I'll show you. But these are photos of the trees laying down after the blast. So you can see in the pictures, I mean, they're all facing the same direction.
Yeah,
they're not just really scattered
weird.
about.
No, they're not like they look like they had been like chopped and like
right,
like laid
so they
down.
were physically blown over is what happened to these.
Yeah. It's just interesting that like if the effects were felt for that long after that, like there was no disruption to the way things were kind of laid out.
What do you mean?
Like if there was continuous like debris or fire, or there were right. Pillars of fire, like the fact that none of that was disrupted and they're all still intact, laying exactly parallel to each other is really weird.
Yeah.
You would think that if like something else like was floating or fell, that it I don't know. I just think that there would be more disruption, but what do I know about catastrophes? I don't know.
500,000 acres is kind of hard to think like what is that size wise. So in comparison, that's an area over 1.5 times the size of Los Angeles.
Oh, excuse me.
So it's fucking huge.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yes.
1.5 times?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Over 1.5 times.
Over. Okay. Yeah. Jesus.
So there were scientific studies, obviously, done on what happened.
Naturally.
But due to wars, local turmoil, just the landscape of Siberia in general. The event that occurred in 1908 wasn't scientifically investigated until 19 years later.
When everything was disrupted at that point.
At that point, I mean, it was in the middle of nowhere, so it wasn't like completely disrupted.
Right, but
nobody got there
over 20 years. Yeah.
Right. So, since the study, there's been over 1,000 scholarly papers published about the event. The first expedition was led by Leonid Kulik in 1927. He hired Evenki hunters, that was like the local tribe,
Okay.
to guide his team to the center of the blast area, where they expected to find an impact crater of some sort because of the way that this came in, assuming it's a meteor. But
the way you're saying, yeah, the way you're saying expected to find makes me suspicious.
Well, here's what's really weird.
Okay.
So, what were we gonna ask?
Like, how the hell is there not impact?
I don't know. So that we're gonna get to all that, but this is what's even more weird. Here's what they found. They didn't find an impact crater.
Okay.
They found a zone in the center that was about 5 miles across, where the trees were scorched, their branches were completely torn off, but they were all still standing upright.
So the branches are gone. The trunk from the ground to the top tip is intact, but burnt?
Charred, still standing.
What the hell?
The surrounding trees had been scorched and knocked down in a direction away from the center of the blast, and those are the pictures
everything
that you
was
saw.
Like out.
So everything, fell outward.
Okay.
From that
I mean,
point.
that's not all that surprising that it would fall outward away from the impact just because of the way that things.
What's strange is the impact point doesn't have a crater of any sort.
And where it would have hit, or we're assuming, everything is still there.
Right. Strange.
What the hell? That's weird.
Yeah. So in
Aliens.
The 1960s,
so a half a century later.
Cool. Kulik went back on multiple expeditions to study this.
Okay.
So in the 60s, he discovered many pothole-like impressions around the area of impact. Oh, quote, impact, because there was no actual crater. But the suspected impact.
Like the focal point.
Right. So the thought was those areas, maybe the meteor blew into bits.
I was going to say maybe it wasn't still fully intact.
But they excavated multiple of those and found nothing alien, nothing out of the ordinary in the bottom of those pits. So they didn't find any remnants of a meteorite.
Potholes, you said?
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
So there was nothing abnormal.
Even at that time, 50 years later, they should have found something. Yeah. I mean, we find shit from fucking dinosaurs. Right.
So on the expeditions, there were thousands of pictures taken. There was a bunch of records kept, things like that. Just obviously for record keeping purposes. There were also many eyewitness reports, and there's a couple of them here that I thought were kind of interesting, which is why I'm gonna focus on these ones. But now the region, I mean, it's the middle of Siberia, so it's not highly populated anyway.
Okay.
But there were eyewitness reports. So somebody named S. Semenov, during Kulik's expedition in 1930, he interviewed this gentleman, and he said that, quote, "At breakfast time, I was sitting by the house at Vanavara Trading Post, which was about 40 miles south of where the explosion was.
Okay.
Facing north.
Okay.
I suddenly saw that directly to the north, over Tunguska Road, the sky split in two and fire appeared high and wide over the forest. The split in the sky grew larger, and the entire northern side was covered with fire. At that moment, I became so hot I couldn't bear it, as if my shirt was on fire. From the northern side, where the fire was, came strong heat and wind. I wanted to tear off my shirt and throw it down, but then the sky shut closed, and a strong thump sounded, and I was thrown a few meters backward. I lost my senses for a moment, but then my wife ran out and led me to the house. After that, such noise came as if rocks were falling or cannons were firing. The earth shook, and when I was on the ground, I pressed my head down, fearing rocks would smash it. When the sky opened up, hot wind raced between the houses like from cannons, which left traces in the ground like pathways, and it damaged some crops also. Later, we saw that many windows were shattered, and in the barn, part of an iron lock on the barn door snapped in half. So there was some forceful wind and shit going on.
Seriously.
So, there's another one from a tribesman, and this was recorded by somebody on the expedition in 1926.
I keep trying it, thinking it's going to grow on me, and it's not. Oh, God.
So he
and
says...
That's got nothing to do with, like, the regular vodka and the vanilla extract. That's just...
It's just straight up...
It's just...
alcohol tasting.
But...
Yeah.
Oof.
Sorry.
It's okay. They can't all be winners. That's the first one I didn't like.
It sounded good. It sounded like it should taste exactly like a chocolate-covered raspberry or something like that.
It sounded fantastic in theory.
Yeah.
It's horrific in practice. Sorry, babe.
Hey, I didn't make the recipe.
Oof.
Buzz's girlfriend.
Right. Woof.
So this tribesman said, we had a hut by the river with my brother. We were sleeping. Suddenly, we both woke up at the same time. Somebody shoved us. We heard whistling and felt strong wind. My brother said, "Can you hear all those birds flying overhead?"
Birds.
Maybe. Drones.
Maybe birds. Actually, that would have been
before. It would have been way before, yeah. We were both in the hut, and we couldn't see what was going on outside. Suddenly, I got shoved again, this time so hard I fell into the fire. Nice.
Cool.
I got scared, obviously. My brother got scared too, obviously. We both started crying out to our father, mother, brother, but no one answered. So they just fucking pushed these kids in the fire. I'm like, yo, deuces. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but the birds are fucking going crazy. We out.
Birds are crazy.
Yeah.
Who shoved the kids?
I don't know. They just got shoved.
Okay. Do we think like they were actually shoved by a person or just like the force?
It seems like there was pretty close quarters. They were in a hut, so it was close quarters. Okay. Somebody bumped into them, I'm sure. So the wind hit their hut and knocked it over. His body was pushed down, but his head was in the clear. When I saw that trees were falling, branches were on fire, it became extremely bright, as if there was a second sun. My eyes were hurting. I even closed them, but you could still see how bright the sky was. It was like it was what the Russians call lightning. Not sure what that has to do with anything. But basically he was saying how extremely bright it was and just the kind of the whole chaos of what was going on.
Yeah. I bet what you're reading is probably a translation of what he said.
Yeah,
and
so
probably said like it's what the Russians call probably the Russian word for lightning, and then it just got translated.
Right. Yeah. Then 3 newspapers actually picked it up too and wrote about it. The one of them says that it was almost like there was after it hit, and I'm paraphrasing here, that there was the ground felt like there was a train rolling by. It was rumbling so much.
Okay, so it was rumbling for like a while.
Yeah. And they describe it as barrages of thumps like cannon fire.
So this is all different people describing very, very, very similar experiences.
Yeah, like cannon firing, but individual cannons, loud and accompanied by tremors.
Okay.
The sky at first sight appeared to be clear. There was no wind and no clouds. Upon closer inspection to the north, where most of the thumps were heard, a kind of ashen cloud was seen near the horizon, which kept getting smaller and more transparent, and then it completely disappeared.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's the event.
Holy crap.
Right, pretty intense.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, that's kind of wild.
Kinda?
But there's another one, very, very similar, called the Chelyabinsk event. And this one is in our memory. This happened on February 15th, 2013 in Russia as well. I'll have a link. There's video footage from all over the place, dash cams, news stations. There's video footage of this.
I don't remember that one bit. Do you remember this?
Yeah. Specifically remember it.
Weird.
Yeah. So this one's again said to be a meteorite. The light from the meteor at one point was, for a brief moment, brighter than the sun, and visible from over 60 miles away. Some eyewitnesses felt intense heat as well when it went by. The object exploded at about 18.5 miles from the Earth's surface and created an airburst, which was accompanied with a bright flash, a hot cloud of dust and gas that caused a shockwave. And the shockwave was equivalent to about 30 times the energy of the atomic bomb on Hiroshima.
Jesus.
About 1,500 people were injured during this. Over 7,200 buildings were damaged. And this was the largest known object to enter the Earth's atmosphere since the Tunguska event. This was also...
How far was this from the location of the Tunguska event?
That I don't know.
Okay. I just was curious.
Yeah, that
Not
I don't
that it really
know.
matters.
Russia's gigantic.
Yeah,
so
I
have
know.
no idea. But
well, that's why I asked. Because, yes, it's in the same country, but
is it though?
Yeah, I mean, it may as well not be.
This is also the only meteor confirmed to have resulted in this many injuries. Okay. No deaths were reported, though.
Well, that's good, I guess.
As if that wasn't strange enough, this is where I have my strange things about this whole fucking thing.
This is where the crazy comes in?
Yeah. So, let's talk about the Tunguska event. First off, do you have any questions about what happened?
I've got tons, but I don't know that you can answer any of them.
Ask some. Maybe I did in the research. Maybe I saw it.
So, I mean, the big question is, what the hell is it that hit?
So we'll get into the theories, but it is said that it was a meteor or meteorite.
Right. I mean, that's my initial thought, and that it entered the atmosphere so quickly that it basically exploded, and then everything, the flash of light was the explosion, and then
that's what they
all of that, thumping and whatever was the pieces of it breaking up and hitting elsewhere. But having not found any trace of any type of material is wild.
Right.
So, that theory kind of goes out the window because there's no evidence that it ever existed. Right. So, it becomes the question of I don't know, almost like a Mandela effect. Did some people hear about it and, oh yeah, I saw something? How much of it is people just thinking that they saw the same thing when it never actually happened, or maybe it did, and who the hell knows?
And the 1908 one, I could see that, but this is
2013.
This one was 2013.
Well, no, that one, whatever.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a ton of video footage of it.
Right. No. I'm talking about the original.
Yeah.
But you go back that far, not enough people were communicating with each other in a very remote area. It's not like you could, when we had the earthquake here a couple of years back, and people were posting on social media crazy, and you're like, oh yeah, I did feel something. You probably wouldn't have thought twice about it before until somebody said something. So it's not like you had the same access to people back then where you could have that conversation of, oh yeah, I think I did see something.
Right.
So, I mean, I would assume that everyone's experience and what they're reporting on is probably legitimate.
It seemed like it. I mean, the people that were interviewed during the expeditions, I doubt they have regular contact with each other.
Right.
I mean, granted, it was years after the fact.
Right.
But, I mean, their story is pretty much lined up exactly with what happened.
Yeah, so that's the part that's, like, throwing me off, because obviously they saw something.
Right.
But
it's a bird. It's a plane.
The only logical explanation goes out the window because there's zero evidence of it. So what the hell is it?
Right. So that's the question.
And why?
Right.
And who's behind it? And if, is there any chance that the evidence, like, or that the pieces would have completely burned up and there would have been no traces left 19 years later when they went back to do?
I guess it's possible.
I mean, I guess a lot of the questions I have are more like science and evidence based, of like what would or could happen to these things if it was pieces of a meteorite or whatever. So,
well, here's an interesting thing in my strange findings here.
Okay.
About the evidence. Remember I said there was like thousands of pictures taken? There were 1,500 negatives of photos that were taken.
Right.
During the Tunguska event. Were confiscated and burned.
What?
Under the order of Evgeny Krinov, who was the chairman of the Committee on Meteorites of the USSR Academy of Sciences.
What?
Supposedly, this was part of an initiative to dispose of flammable nitrate film. So there's like no record, no negatives, no original negatives left of what they found.
What they found?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. Crazy, right? So,
it's also just weird to me that the head of the meteorite research would order that those be destroyed when what are they saying? It was a push to remove what? What kind of
flammable nitrate film?
And what does that have to do with meteorites? Like, how is that his?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how is that his?
I guess it's just because there's a meteorite study that had that many records.
Yeah, but
so it was his responsibility to get rid of the records.
That doesn't seem like that would fall under his order, though. Like,
I don't know. I thought that was a little sketchy.
Yeah, a little. Jesus, that's super suspicious.
Oh, that's not all of it.
Oh, I'm sure.
This Tunguska event is the largest impact event on Earth in recorded history.
Okay.
The explosion supposedly happened at an altitude of somewhere between 15 and 30,000 feet. Okay. They came to that conclusion because obviously it didn't impact the Earth because there's no impact crater. The energy of the explosion, now the most recent one, the Chelyabinsk event in 2013, was 30 times the energy of the atomic bomb. This one was the equivalent of 15 megatons of TNT.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck is that, though? That's a lot, obviously.
What is a megaton? I thought a ton was big enough.
So this one is 1,000 times more powerful than that of the atomic bomb drop on Hiroshima.
Oh my God.
It was the impact of this.
That's a big jump, too. Yeah. And so that 30-ton impact was the second highest recorded in the world?
Right.
That's a big difference between the first and the second.
Huge.
Biggest.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So this is the explanation, apparently, on the forest situation. So the radiant energy of the explosion ignited the trees in the forest, which is why they're charred. But the blast waves that followed blew out the flames, which is why they're charred but not burned completely through.
Okay. I can get on board with that.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right. So remember I said that the pattern of the trees that were where they were charred but standing still at the impact point.
Yeah, at the
surrounding trees were blown down, almost like a water drop effect. Like it just kind of blew out from there. Yeah. So that is 100% consistent with the findings of Operation Blowdown, which was an explosive test that was carried out in 1963, so much later, in Cape York Peninsula of Australia. The test was to simulate and study the effects of a nuclear weapon on a tropical rainforest. And they saw the exact same scenario of the point directly under the blast. The trees were charred but still standing, and everything else was blown out.
Interesting.
Very. So that's all the Tunguska event strangeness.
Okay.
The Chelyabinsk event, the suspicious thing about it, so this was 2013 this event happened in. The energy output of the airburst was roughly the same as the output of a thermonuclear device that the former Soviet Union was testing in 1953. Little sketchy.
A little. Jesus Christ.
Very strange timing.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah. Also strange is that in 2013, this object approached Earth undetected before nobody knew about it until it entered the atmosphere and started burning up.
So
supposedly it's because the source of where the direction it was coming from was too close to the sun, so it was basically the radiance of the sun was blocking.
Fine, but I don't know. So the second one, the 2013 one.
Yeah.
The impact pattern and everything, how does that compare to the original?
So that
1908.
So that one was in a much more urban area.
Okay.
So you couldn't study the effects on trees and things like that, really.
Okay.
But I think I said 7,200 buildings were damaged from it.
Okay.
And 1,500 people were injured from it.
Right, I remember the injuries. I was just curious to see damage-wise, besides the buildings.
Like there was a lot more damage during that one, even though it was a much smaller situation, just because it was over a actual urban area.
Like a developed area, rather than the tree.
Right.
A forest.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
What?
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there. There's the fact that the pattern in the Tunguska event was so unique and so horribly inexplicable, and then to see something a half a century later that's damn near identical. So the nuclear weapon testing, was that did anybody say that they witnessed flashes in the sky opening up, and
in which one?
In the nuclear testing one, did anybody
have similar, because that one was in a remote site.
Well, yeah, I figured as much, but I wasn't sure if the people who were actually doing the testing said anything about how.
I think they kind of knew how that
what to expect. Pan out.
Okay. They were more looking at the outcome of it than anything else.
So I don't know.
So what's interesting? So these were the two biggest. So this is called an airburst, is what they call this.
Okay.
And this is the two biggest, but they since these, since 1908, really, they've been tracking these, and I'll link the page. Granted, it's a Wikipedia page, but it does have a nice table on it of the events, starting with the Tunguska event. There are many that happened over the United States, all over the world, really. And they all none of them are nearly as large as the two we just talked about, but they seem to have happened very infrequently originally. And I don't know if this is just because of them actually paying attention to it now?
Yeah.
Or what?
Like, now that they're more alerted to it, or they
but
noticing
it seemed to
more?
be like the ones they have listed on here, just a quick overview, is 1908, 1919, 1927, 1930, 1932, 35, 41, 47. But once you get up to more recent years, like 97 had 2 of them, 2002 had 2 of them, 2003 had 4 of them, 2005, like there's multiple per year happening. Um, and I don't know,
which
like,
is, obviously abnormal for the average
right,
and for the pattern we were seeing before that. So.
right. So I'm not sure if that's just because we're monitoring it more and technology's
Yeah, I'm
better or
wondering
what.
if it's just that we can trace it and
Right,
track it better than we could before.
right. So, but they're definitely higher in. I mean, well, some of them are higher in. Like in 2005, there was 38 of them. Go up to 2013 when the Chelyabinsk was there was 20 of them. In
Okay.
2019 there were 42. So it's kind of all over the place, but
Yeah.
they all have similar things happening where there's a bright light in the sky, some sort of bang or impact or explosion, and then this air burst.
Okay.
So there's there's a ton of theories of what's happening here. Now it's explained as being it's a meteorite. The heat that these people are feeling, obviously the meteorite is feeling that as well. So it heats up so much internally that it explodes.
That's what I'm thinking is
Right.
That would make the most sense.
Right. So it blows up before impact. Is essentially what science is saying.
Right, but then the question still becomes like, why is there still a focal point of impact if there's no actual?
I guess that's just the closest point of where the meteor was in the sky at that point.
I guess.
But I mean, first theory, obviously, aliens.
I already said that.
Yeah, obviously, people are like, "Oh my God, the aliens are coming."
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna blow us up.
Absolutely.
Which
surprised they haven't already, honestly.
Maybe they did.
Shit should have been blown up ages ago.
Maybe they did.
Maybe they did in what, 2012? So the world came to an end and we're all just in a simulation now.
Yep. We got sucked into a black hole. We just haven't realized it.
I'm telling you right now, that would not surprise me.
So that's theory 1. Theory 2 is it was a meteor, but it was shot down by the Russian military. Now, this is such a Russian tactic.
That's such a
taking advantage of a situation and saying, "No, our military is so strong. We shot that bitch down."
Taking credit for that. Yeah. I don't buy that.
So 2 news agencies actually reported that it was a meteorite and it was intercepted by their air defense unit.
2 different newspapers claimed that they.
Yeah, one newspaper, one agency.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but the Russian government says it wasn't.
Weird.
Very weird.
I feel like they would be the ones to be like, "Oh yeah, the definitely," so that people stop questioning it. Like I feel like for like peace of mind, that would make more sense to take the credit and just be like, "Oh yeah,
right.
We were watching it. We felt no need to alert you. Blah blah blah." Like,
but like what I find is so funny is they're saying it was shot down, but like go back and watch the video. And
the 2013 one, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they didn't know this thing was coming.
Right. So that, I mean.
So you mean to tell me in the short 20-second video clip, they were able to get pilots in jets, scrambled jets, get a bomb up and blow it up in like 20 to 30? This is some like Maverick can't even do that shit.
I don't know, man.
Come on. Bullshit.
I'm not saying I don't agree with you.
They called Bruce Willis and fucking Ben Affleck to go up there and blow it up.
Oh God. I was wondering where you were going with Bruce Willis for a minute there. Jesus. No, Liv Tyler.
Theory 3, kind of, and 4 go together. Is 3 is that it was actually a Russian satellite that was shot down by none other than the United States. I could see it. I mean, I could see it being
I don't
thing.
hate it. I just still feel like you would find...
It'd have to be a big-ass satellite.
Right, and you would still find some level of, like, remnants of some kind. Like, that shit wouldn't just disappear.
Right.
And there would, like, I mean, I don't see it completely exploding in the same capacity. Like, there would probably still be some impact.
Right.
Somewhere that people would be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's a satellite. Like, I feel like, I don't know. None of it makes sense.
Yeah.
Except aliens. That makes sense.
Aliens. Theory 4 is that it was a weapon fired by the United States.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, dude.
I feel you. I'm tired too.
I'm running on empty here.
Good song. Yeah, a weapon fired by the United States.
Again, I'm not... There's too many things that don't track.
Right. Like, why in 2013 are they bringing up, like, why would the U.S. still be using Cold War tactics on these people?
Like, why you gotta bring up old shit?
So much so that Russian parliament member Vladimir Zhirinovsky insisted that the meteorite was a weapon fired by the United States. He stated, "Those were not meteorites. It was Americans testing their new weapons." John Kerry wanted to warn Lavrov, who was the last name of a Russian foreign minister.
Yeah.
On Monday, he was looking for Lavrov, but he was on vacation. He meant to warn Lavrov about a provocation against Russia. That
feels like when we did the bird episode and there was like all the shit on the website of like, yeah, you know, so-and-so's taking too many potty breaks and ruining the vibe. Like every bit of that conversation just seems so...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe John Kerry did call this guy and he wanted to see about a tea time or something.
Listen, I don't put anything past any political figures anymore. Like, they're all fucking awful.
Right.
And they're crazy, but...
Right. Here's one that I can get on board with, though.
Okay.
Special weapons testing.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, that's where my mind went initially was, okay, it's got to be...
For the more recent ones, I can see that.
Right, so that's what's throwing me off. In 1908...
So 1908...
Technology was not that advanced.
Right. So I did a little research, and the first recorded account of a bomb being dropped from a plane was November 11th, 1911. And it was literally like 4 hand grenades somehow machined together and tossed out of a plane.
Jesus. That's very primitive. And 3 years later.
Right. And to that
I don't know. That's the part that's throwing me off.
Planes were still so rudimentary.
Right.
That the first commercial flight of a plane, quote, commercial flight of a plane, was November 7th, 1910. And the pilot could only carry a shipment of 2 stacks of silk from Dayton to Columbus.
Oh my God.
So
so not at all equipped to handle that.
No. I mean, planes at that point were still like fucking matchsticks and paper.
Chewing gum.
Yeah. So I don't...
A whole lot of hope.
Yeah. So it couldn't be unless...
Yeah. Aliens. That's what I'm saying. I'm going with aliens.
But I mean, I just find... Sure, maybe it was a meteorite. I don't know. It seems very common, but again... and maybe this is the conspiracy theory side of me, but it's very easy, I feel like, to blame it on like, yeah, it was a meteorite, it blew up, blah, blah, blah. But
I feel like it's such a cop-out. Like, it just, it's the easy road. It's easy to just, like, your everyday Joe is not going to be able to, like, oh, no, that's not the way. Like, people don't know that much about, like... just meteorites and comets and normal
the average
people,
person,
the average person doesn't know things to that level to be able to dispute, well, that's not what that would look like, and that's not the type of material, and like to be able to have an intelligent and meaningful conversation about that. Like most people would just accept that at face value. And I think a big part of that is too, like, if the government were to turn around and say, like, we really don't know what that was, that would probably send the civilians into a frenzy of like, oh shit, what are we up against? The fact that they're like, oh, this is what it is, we're confirming, blah blah blah, like it gives everybody a little bit of security and peace of mind. Now it's probably a false sense of security, which I mean most governments really, that's what they establish anyway. But I think truly, I think that either they know what it is and don't want to tell, or they don't know what it is and don't want to say that, and are just too nervous about what that looks like for the average person.
I would not that I believe it. I don't think yet, at least, but I wouldn't be surprised if these events were like shot down alien ships of some sort. And I mean, I know that there's, I don't know, maybe there's no evidence of it in like a ship crashing to the ground.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I feel like these might, I mean, I don't know, maybe 1908, you're not going to see a ship shot down, but.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. It's strange. And I don't believe, I don't understand space or the forces in space or anything like that. I'm no scientist, but that's a fucking big explosion.
Yeah. That is the thing that in my head I keep coming back to is it was 1908. If this was 2008, sure, weapons testing, fine, whatever. Especially the fact that it was so remote and there was so much damage in such a huge area, and that like nobody was hurt. Like people felt the effects of it and they were close enough to get some of that residual impact, but like it seems deliberate that it would have been in the location that it was without casualties and without injuries. But that's just such a weird, it's a weird time for it.
Like, do you rope in time travel to it then too?
I don't know. I wasn't until like time just came out of my mouth right now, and I'm like, maybe. I don't know. I'm buying into the alien theory more than anything, but I mean obviously in 1908 the technology to be able to shoot down an alien spacecraft was definitely not there. So like did this alien being just go awry and then they have like some sort of self-destruct button built in and they fucking abort mission? Don't let them discover us. Like what, what did that look like? Or
did an alien come to Earth and eat some awful Taco Bell in 1908?
Drink one of these nasty fucking drinks. I love how you're trying to like it.
I'm okay with it. I just keep getting that tickle in my throat. And
gotcha.
I don't feel like coughing, so I'm trying to fight it back.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that they were shooting anything down. It wasn't a special victim or special weapons testing. It wasn't.
Yeah, not at that point.
It just it's always like there's one thing that just doesn't fit the answer. You know what I mean?
It's weird.
Like if it's a meteorite, everything matches except for that point of impact issue.
Yeah.
And if it's
the fact that there's no meteorite
right, well yeah, that's what I mean, like the crater not existing. If it's weapons testing, the one thing that doesn't fit is the timing. Like there's always just one little puzzle piece that just doesn't quite fit the big picture. So
it's a strange one.
Yeah, that's really weird.
And it actually blew me away because I knew of the I knew of the Tunguska event, but I had no idea that airbursts were this common.
Yeah. I didn't either, and you rattling off the dates, I was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, why isn't this something that we've talked about more? Like, it just doesn't, it just really doesn't add up. And I can't figure out the missing piece
it's
here.
Strange. It's strange.
You know how much I love not having the answer.
Yeah. I almost want to just say, I almost want to say, like, maybe it's a time travel thing.
I feel like that's the only thing that does make sense, as crazy as that sounds, because the one thing that makes the most sense is the weapon testing that you said matched like 100%.
Yeah.
That is a very strong case. That's some pretty compelling evidence, but that was what, 50 years after the fact?
50 years after the fact, but I mean, I'm looking up Nikola Tesla. Well, he would have been before. He died in 43.
No, yeah, he would have been around.
He apparently found a way to time travel. That'll be an episode. But
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm tempted to say time travel. I really am, because it's the only thing that's missing for the most logical explanation is the timing.
Yeah. It's just very strange.
That is wild.
Yeah. Pretty strange one.
Yeah.
But that's what I got on that one.
Okay.
Got any other questions on it? Any other ideas on it?
No. Well, no other like explanation or anything.
Aliens, time travel.
I think, yeah, it's got to be either aliens or time travel. Yeah.
Interesting.
Very.
I forget which one it was. There was a recent one, 2015, 2017, something like that. That was actually confirmed to be the first alien meteorite to hit Earth.
What does alien mean?
I think that's what they called it. Alien meteorite. It was outside of our solar. It was from outside of our solar system.
How do they know that?
Based on the trajectory of it, somehow.
What?
I don't know. This is where fucking space doesn't make sense to me, dude. But apparently, based on measurements and their trajectory, and I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
But it was the first alien meteorite to ever actually impact Earth from outside our solar system. Bonkers, right?
Yeah.
I'll never understand space because it's fake. Actually, neither. Space is fake. It's all fucking made up.
George Lucas.
It's all made up.
Like, whose line is it anyway? Everything's made up and the points don't matter.
So in researching this, which I need to do more research on this topic, but in looking this up, I came across some article that there was a theory that the governments of the world were working together to find a way to blow up Jupiter to turn it into another sun.
I don't think that's how blowing something up works.
Something about the gases of Jupiter and some sort of force of explosion causing so much heat that it would become a ball of...
How? Oh my God.
I don't know. I got to do more research on it.
How do you blow up a whole fucking planet?
I don't know. But I guess the theory is if there's another sun, then the planets that are too far away from our sun might be habitable then?
So what are they going to do? Just like keep moving?
Inhabitable?
Yeah. They're just going to keep moving like further and creating new suns just to like see how far they can go and how much they can transfer life?
No, I think they're just trying to... They realize that we're fucking up Earth.
Well, yeah, but let's go fuck up another thing, and
we need somewhere to go.
Okay, we ruined the one that we had. Let's not continue fucking up other shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my God. Look, if we go visit Jupiter, We're going to be walking in real quiet. Don't touch anything. No. You get in, you get out. That's it. We're not going to fuck shit up. No.
I don't know.
No, that's stupid. It's a bad idea. That is bad juju. That's got no written all over it. I am not okay. What in the world?
I don't know, man.
No.
I'll give you guys an update on that one next episode.
Blowing up a fucking planet.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Anyway, we're all done for tonight. All done for tonight.
Jesus. It was heavy.
Yeah. Hit the link tree in the subscription. That's got the links to all of our social media pages, how you can reach us. Our phone number's there, our email's there. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, if you want to support us by buying us a drink that's hopefully better than this,
please help me.
Yeah. Please do so.
We'll accept drinks from aliens too.
Yes.
We're open-minded here.
Absolutely.
Everybody welcome.
Yeah. So I think that's it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Dale, for a cool one.
Hit the no problem.
No thank you for that drink though.
Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on YouTube, we have a ton of views on YouTube. If you're watching us, please subscribe. Do it. Just fucking do it. It's easy. It's free. And then you get notified.
Push the button.
Push the button. Do it. Smash the bell.
Ugh.
Smash it.
I can't stand you sometimes. What the hell?
Anyway.
All right.
That's another one.
I really got to do this, don't I?
Cheers to this tasty, chocolatey.
Thank God the content was better than the cocktail.
This thing's awful looking.
It's horrendous. Oh, it looks like really warm flat soda.
It does.
It's got that syrupy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well,
yuck.
A toast.
A toast.
To the atypical.